Hello everybody, Walters954 here, coming at you guys with some more Python coding practices with the advent of code on day 2. So let's jump right into it. On day 2, we are wrapping presents with Santa Claus, and we need to figure out how much wrapping paper we need in total. So we're going to need to get the surface area of the boxes because everything is a rectangle, and this is a formula for that. And we're going to need the surface area of the two smallest sides added together. So if the dimensions are 2 by 3 by 4, you do the prism formula, we get 52, and then we do the two smallest sides multiplication, 2 times 3, 6, total those together, and then we do that for all of the dimensions. So here is our input. Let's go ahead and copy that, and then let's go into Python. First thing we're going to need is a total variable, total paper, and that can start out as 0. So we're just going to keep adding to that, obviously with a for loop because we have a lot of input like last time. Next up, we're going to need our dimensions. So dimension variable, and we will paste in our dimensions, but this will not work because there are new line characters. It's actually like a /n or the enter, whatever you want to call it, enter. Those are new line variables, and since those are there, we cannot take our input like last time, like in the first video. So what we're going to do here is create a new file and call this day2 input, and it'll ask you what kind of file you want it to be, a text file. And did I actually go through? We'll see about that later. So we have our text file here, and now we need to open it. So we do dim is equal to open and our file name, day2 input. I'm missing our quotes, so let's actually print this out and see what we get. Okay, so we got the right thing, because I didn't see the file extension, which is why I was a little weirded out by that. Normally I put the file extension, but you can pick through there. Anyways, going back onto this, so Python, you can simply say open and it'll open a file, and whenever you open a file you need to close a file, so you say dim.close. And this is like for memory management. I personally don't really understand why there's open and closing a file, but it's whatever. So just make sure it's done. Whenever you open a file, close a file. Now we need to read each line in this file. So for line in dim, so that's every line that there is in dim, we're going to read it. And for right now, let's just print it out and see what we get for line. Alright, so it looks like we're getting something here. It's pretty awesome, but it's not in the correct format. You can see there's actually a space in between here, and we're obviously going to need to split these up on the X. So conveniently, let's create a holder list, and we will do line.split. So split is a function. You can pass in the first parameter you pass in is the one that you want to split by. And let's print this out and run it. So let's take this one away so it doesn't confuse us. Run this, and you can see that everything is now in a list or an array. I'll use them interchangeably, but in Python they are lists. But I'll say array or list. So it has everything now, all of our input, in a arrays as strings, as you can tell by the little quotes around them. So these are strings. Next, we will need to take away the new line character. If you notice here, there's the /n, which is actually the enter for the string. So this is like if you're writing a string and you say, I think that's backward slash or down slash, whatever you're gonna call it, down slash new. That's an operator to say new line in text or in strings. So we need to get rid of those. So to do that, we'll take our list, and it's the second position. Oh, well, it's the second index because this is 0, 1, 2, 3, and we will say whenever we see the new line character, we want to replace it with an empty line. And if you couldn't tell already, I like to print out a lot just to make sure that I'm doing the correct thing. And lo and behold, we have we separated just only the integers, I guess you would call it. So now we need to do our calculations. So we need the length, which is equal to the first position, width, which is the second position, and the height, which is the third position. So now that we have those three, we need to do our calculation. So calculation for surface area is, I'm never going to remember that off the top of my head, so let's go back to here. Let's see if we can copy this. Somewhere around here. There you go. And there we go. So let's print this out and see what we have. And oh, we have an error. Index out of bounds, and it'll tell you the line. So I put a 3 here by accident, basically saying, all right, we don't have, there's no fourth position. And we have another error saying that these guys, this length, width, and height are strings, and we can't do multiplication on strings. So we could go ahead and convert them all to integers just by casting. And now we have numbers going on here, which is really nice. Let's take care of this one. Bam. Alright, so now that we have integers here, that's all fine and dandy, but we need to sort this list because for the next piece we need to find the smallest length and width. So we could do that in a lot of different ways, but the way that I found to be the easiest was to just sort the list, make sure it's from ascending to descending, smallest to biggest, and then pluck the two first indexes, multiply them, and then that's your area. So to do that, what we need to do for our list is convert that whole thing into integers, because still up here only these variables, the length, width, and height variables, are integers instead of the entire list being integers. So to do that, we'll need to use the map, which is going to convert our list into a map, and whatever well, this first parameter, all it does is apply that to whatever is in the list, to every single one. So we can go ahead and actually take this away because it's being casted now from our map function, and we will run it. And now we're getting an error. Line 16 is saying maps you can't select a specific position on a map. So what we need to do is convert this one more time into a list. So first we use a map function to set all of the items in the list that are strings to integers, and then we just put everything back into a list. And that way we can call specific positions on that list. Alright, so first part done. Then we want to sort our list. Let's print this out to see what our list looks like. And you can see these are in smallest to biggest order, 8, 9, 10. Go back on the input. It started 10, 9, 8. So that's very nice. The small area is calculated by doing the first position, which is the smallest one, times the second position. Space here. Let's print this out. We're actually done now. Just want to print it to show you guys. Take this one away. So now supposedly these are the small areas. Lastly, we will put back into our total the small area plus our surface area, and we will print out our total paper. Let's go ahead and still have this one up here. Just notice, doesn't really matter. So we ran it here. We got, what is that, 5 million? Whatever, a really big number. Let's go check to make sure. Copy this. There's my Python. And let's print it out on the bottom. Making sure that they're correct, and yes, they do look exactly the same. So thank you guys for watching. More Advent of Code and some other projects will be coming up soon. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe.